Why is your face covered? Oh, it's going away. Hello.
I don't have my microphone.
Girl.
Hello.
We've done this before. But we have new mics.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. Should I be cool and put it on
I
here?
think so.
I kind of was looking, I'll be honest. I was back there looking for a spoon so I could like talk like this, like a microphone.
Oh.
Like hook it on the spoon.
Oh.
I only found a knife and that felt threatening and I didn't want to do that.
Okay, it wasn't the vibe. But it's understandable.
I think so. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Cheers. Do you like our setup?
You have to drink for cheers.
Oh. Do I have to look you in the eye when I drink? Mm-hmm.
We're live at Ritual Space, and that's a ritual people do.
There's a lot of drinking rituals.
Right?
I don't drink anymore.
Oh, really?
Well,
alcohol?
Yeah.
Really?
I really don't enjoy it. Recently, well, that's not true. Emotionally, I do enjoy it.
Okay.
Physically, I do not.
Not so much. Same.
I can't hold it anymore. I can't do it.
We should talk about how like my body is like absolutely not. I like don't even think about it. I will give you heartburn before you even take a bite if you even think about eating
Girl, I had like a glass of champagne at a private party here last weekend, and I woke up the next morning severely hungover.
Oh no!
Oh, my ear's ringing. That's confirmation. They're like, "Don't you fucking drink."
That's right.
It was really unfortunate. And I enjoyed my weekend thoroughly because we had like a busy weekend here.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so much joy. But I was like, man, you know what? I would make this better is if I wasn't fucking hungover.
Yeah, the day after.
From one
glass, because it's not like you're being irresponsible or anything.
No, it was like a headache and then like an achiness.
But I think it's just like
and like a little like
the like glimpses into the crone where you're just like you do not care anymore. You will say what you want and you don't care. And I kind of love that. Your body is like no, just like the way that our bodies are just like absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
don't try me.
That. I respect that.
Don't try me. That's how it felt. But yeah, I really don't.
What else is coming up at Ritual Space soon? Anything?
What's today?
I think Wednesday.
This weekend we have some cool stuff going on. Oh, Thursday is the last class of this current series of Bloom School. And that has been such a joy. That has been such a joy to connect with other women and just talk about the joy of gardening and doing it seasonally here locally. So many of us like grew up in the north. Like I grew up all over the north. I lived everywhere, and so the growing seasons are so different. The gardening culture is so different, and so not that I have ever really had this extensive garden personally, but it's just really cool to like learn the natural rhythm of like living in Southwest Florida and how to like grow food and how easy I can do it. Like easily I can do it and well. We really have like a year-long growing season.
Oh, cool.
But like now is kind of the time to plant.
Are you planting anything?
I don't have the space or capacity to in the ground, but I've learned how to like start a container garden.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna grow some herbs. I might even do it here. I can't do it inside necessarily. I don't get that much sun, but if you know, you know, like where those planters are out front as you walk up the stairs toward Bar Roots, like I think I could get some nice plants in there because they're gonna get like 12 hours of sun.
Yeah, that's a good.
And I'll just grow like sage and like rosemary and basil and you know, it'd be cute. Maybe some flowers, bring in some of the pollinators and just have a little vibe going on. That's my goal, but that's been a joy. And then we have mocktails and metaphors this weekend, which is going to be great. It's an open mic night for poetry. So we have 5 poets signed up so far. You can still sign up. There's room for more if you have like poems you want to share. And then you can also like buy a ticket and just like participate and vibe. And everyone that buys a ticket gets a mocktail in the house. You can have more than one as well. But it's really just going to be a vibe. It's going to be in this space. Natalie Guerra of Composition Chrysalis is growing this beautiful community of writers and creatives. So
very cool.
they're joining us in this sacred space, and it's such an honor. So that's on Saturday from 7 to 9. And then Sunday at 11 a.m., we have a cacao ceremony with Zaylene Gonzalez.
Oh, that's so good.
It's going to be really nice. Just like a yummy way to like connect and start your Sunday, I suppose. Have you done cacao? Have you had cacao before?
Haven't.
It is delicious. It is this like, she hosts this beautiful ceremony of it, but cacao itself to me is just so heart opening and like softening, and it's delicious and it's very sacred. And so, you know, I think when I see people advertising cacao ceremonies, I am conscious because in like traditional practices, I don't know if cacao, like a cacao ceremony, is in of itself its own like sacred practice that is isolated, as if like you were to go to a ceremony to have like ayahuasca, which they are not the same, but do you know what I'm saying? Like a ceremony for cacao,
right?
But it's becoming and has become this process of like sitting with that as it is seen as a medicine.
Yeah, you want to respect it.
Yeah. So I really appreciate how she holds space to do that, and it's lovely. So that is going to happen on Sunday.
What time? What are the hours of that?
11 a.m. it starts. I think it'll probably be like an hour or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
So that's really nice. And that's the week ahead. I feel like October has been, like we're halfway through October at this point. And so much has happened.
Yeah, I think that's just life. It's speeding up, like
packed.
It's like 5 years ago, you could be like, life is speeding up like crazy. It's just like exponential at this point. I'm kind of just like, where is the buoy? Where's the life raft? Like,
girl, I'm just gonna float on my back.
It's just so yes. There's too much complexity. You got to just grab that surfboard.
Yeah,
there's no other way.
Yeah, I do find myself needing to like slow down a little bit. I need a little bit of rest. I think it's been a beautiful season at Ritual Space. I think there's been so much beautiful energy coming through this space, and it's not that I want business to slow down, but I want to feel a little bit more integrated into a flow that allows me to rest. Because I love all of these creative events. When people come to me and they're like, Jill, I have this idea, will you help me do it? I'm like, that's literally my love language. Like, you couldn't have said anything better to me.
Yeah.
But like, I'm also like, okay, maybe we space these things out a little bit more, so it feels like there can be this like nourishing flow.
For yourself as well as the space, and it's so much of the space is yourself, so it's truly good. We want you to be rested too.
And you know, I have to remember, this is my Manny Gen brain, like there's no rush,
right?
Girl, I just get excited. I'm like, what are we gonna do next? I get excited, and then I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna learn how to like pace and like thoroughly like I just want to like, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to like participate in my excitement, but I want to almost like savor it,
like relish it.
Yes, because there's nothing better than the feeling of excitement to me.
Yeah.
Because I have a sacral authority.
Yeah.
And so like when I feel that excitement, that's an embodied yes, and I'm just like,
it feels so good. Yeah.
And then I'm like, I said that was too much yes. I think but I'm grateful for it nonetheless. I'm learning how to grow my nervous system's capacity to hold so much excellence. And that's a skill. It's not like the default setting.
I also think it's a requirement at this point. I don't know
if it's not going to slow down.
I don't think people can hang if they don't. Like, I think like in a physical disease way, that the body if a body can't handle the complexity, I don't think the body continues for as long as it maybe wants to.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be morbid, but
no, I think you're right. I think like I'm really over burnout. Like I'm really over these waves of burnout, and I've been reflecting on it lately. I'm grateful to feel like in my practice, I'm observing how I was kind of in a time of like attracting clients that weren't really like matching what I think is like my ideal like clientele. Not to say that they weren't excellent, but I've had some experiences over the past month where I have interest coming in and then there's no follow through on their end. You know, they're like, I want this, but like, do you? Because we're not doing it. And so I'm finding this new wave, and a lot of these conversations with my clients in this community is like, I am like ready for more, and I need help allowing my nervous system to allow me to expand and like be in joy rather than the fear or worry or the heaviness of more responsibility.
Right. And I think that's part of that is because when you're creating something new and you're somebody who is on the edge of creation, you literally don't know what that feels like yet, but you have to before it can appear to a certain degree. You create what you are.
Yeah.
And so if you want more, you have to create more within in order to create more without. And it's really easy to think if I create more, I'm just going to create more sleepiness and more tiredness and more burnout and more breakdown. And it's like, you can say like, well, but probably not, probably I'll just create something that's also nourishing and gives back to me. But the body has to be convinced of that. And the way the body's convinced of that is the nervous system healing, like you're talking about.
Yeah. It's, I have to practice what I preach because same. Ditto. I also need to do that. And it's funny, I guess, when I think of it that way because, sorry, I have an itch in my eye. But like the same thing I like coach my like business clients through. It's like a verbatim. I'm coaching my new moms in hypnobirthing. Like we're preparing you for these like surges of like growth and movement, because growth is not like oh, look at me, I grew. We can get there. Like there are moments of that, but there's also a lot of like labor pains.
Friction. Friction is part of the growth process. Like, you really don't have the desire to expand until staying the same becomes too painful.
Girl, write that down, because I was literally just telling this to Heather off camera.
Yeah.
But in my own, and this is very relevant in like conversation on relationships, but very much in the relationship I have with myself. Like, how do I find the threshold where I'm ready to commit to change? I have to get to the point of discomfort where I'm so tired of my own fucking shit I have no choice but to become different.
Right.
Seriously.
It's really interesting the way that works. And I think it's like, I have to believe that can be a smoother process, but because life is speeding up so much, it really just feels like one thing after another. And it's hard to get your bearings.
Yeah.
It can be really hard to get your bearings.
Girl.
So, but the only option is to get your bearings, to do it. And it's like, at some point you just have to decide. We've been saying a lot to each other. We have this because we want it. We're going to have what we are going to have because we want it. We don't need more of a reason than that to choose for ourselves what we want. And I think that like anybody who's in any kind of guidance role right now is like, nobody is that far ahead. Like nobody is not experiencing life. No guide is skipping out on this part right now. It's about being the example, as like you're also in this sea of complexity and life, and it might look a little bit different, but I think we're all navigating it while we're helping each other navigate it, and others are helping us navigate it. Like on Toy Story, when they're going down the barrel and they're holding each other. But we're not going to go into a furtive.
Don't.
We're going to get saved in the last minute, just like in Toy Story.
It's going to be great.
Toy Story is prophetic, unfortunately.
Honestly. That movie, that scene makes me cry every time.
More so, what makes me cry, have I told you this? The scene in Encanto. Okay. It's Christmas morning. I'm watching it for the first time, and I have this like abrupt cry from the depths of my soul. Have you seen Encanto? Yes. Okay, the scene where the house is falling apart. I could cry right now. I'm all chilled up. I'm sorry. It just affects me so much. And they're like, oh, this house is a mess. And then the town starts coming up and walking up and is like, we'll help you. Holy God, that gets me, man. that literally plays to like all my wounds around community, and is like such a beautiful scene and such a beautiful sight, because I think, well, to segue into relationships and the idea of relationship, I think the relationships we have in our community is what helps us expand in times like these, where it's just too hard to do it on your own. It just is, simply.
But also, like, never ever were we going to,
or meant to,
or supposed to, or meant to do that. Yeah. And I have to remind myself that constantly.
Yeah.
A lot of conversations lately about that in my life, and mostly because I'm deciding to talk about it and share that I feel alone, or when I do feel alone, I'm voicing it, which is not always something that I've done, or it's not easy for me to do.
It's very brave.
And to express that and how that feels like so heavy. But I think that's something that we all experience. And it is a perception, and it's a limited perception. Because you can feel alone, right? You can, and that's an important part of the journey. Because sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
To like recalibrate.
To be your own best friend.
And then it gets to a point, exactly. And it gets to a point too where you need to integrate back into the collective, to feel supported and have that experience mirrored back to you. Know that you're not like, your experience is so unique to you, but also you're not alone in that experience. Everyone is sharing this collective experience as well. But I do think like retreat to like know yourself helps you show back up in community in a more embodied and empowered way. And it also helps you recognize like what resonates with you and what doesn't.
You really don't move forward without being in a relationship. So
yeah,
taking time out is really a time out, and it's important, and it's and cultivating that relationship with yourself is like mandatory for coming back into relationship and doing that in a healthy way. But navigating that, it's like I think at some point in the collective, there's this idea of empowerment means you're not in community, and it's the opposite. Empowerment means you can be in community with people who are maybe at very different stages of their journey than you are.
Yeah.
And navigating that is part of not just growth and lessons that you learn for yourself, but it's also a joy to be able to be with somebody else in their journey where they're at as well. So it is kind of something that inherently takes and gives.
Yes. Yeah.
It's healing, it's progress. It's also joy, it's also happiness. It's a complex thing, because these are complex times. Nothing simple right now.
Is it ever though? Like, we can say right now it's not simple, but aren't we eternally living in now? And
we are infinity is happening at all times.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me not get.
We can go existential.
I'm derailing from the point.
I can go there.
Yeah, I know we could go there. No, I reflect on relationships a lot, and I think for myself, I don't have an active love life, and I'm okay with that at this point. However, even in just like understanding my role in community,
sure,
is one that I am really reflecting on a lot lately, because I'm processing a period of growth and some big decisions that I'm making for myself, and how I want to show up in community, how I want to show up in my business, how I want to feel about myself. And I'm choosing that after a time of like feeling a wobble, which is are words that Heather has helped me understand that experience. And I can be really hard on myself when I'm wobbling.
Are you saying like in like your wobble has been in relationships? What are you saying? Be more direct with us.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was externally processing.
Right.
I feel like I'm coming out of a time where I felt really like I didn't know what I was doing. I was really like didn't have sure footing, and I was just, that also made me feel insecure, I guess, is a feeling. And I was impacting how I was showing up in my relationships. And I think I'm consciously realizing how it has impacted my relationships and how I've shown up and how that's been perceived.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a lot.
But in making that observation for myself, I'm consciously trying to take that as feedback so that I can choose to show up in the way that I want to experience my relationship.
And you're not just talking about romantic relationships.
No,
you're
I'm talking about friendships, business partnerships,
right.
or collaborations and family, like all of those things. I'm really like seeing that for maybe what that impact is when I'm not in my empowerment, and how that impacts my relationships when I am showing up from that place. And that's a part of me, and I'm grateful for the people that witness that and don't hold that against me. Sure. and show up to nurture me in that state. And also recognizing like, but that's also not how I want to show up. So then taking that ownership over how I want to show up.
Being more purposeful in how you want to feel.
Yeah.
In your relationship and how you want to perceive yourself. Because I think I think really that's where it has to go. It's like, even though relationships involve other people, and it's like, how can I feel empowered when so much of what happens depends on another person's reaction or action or lack thereof? Like, how can we be empowered when we have to rely on other people? That's like, it almost seems like antithetical. It seems like a paradox to be empowered and full of yourself in a healthy way, but also relying on others in interdependence. And I think it's that when you can see how your actions affect the relationship, and when you can go back and regroup and say, okay, I'm going to try it different this time, and I'm going to see what this does in a very like experimental, full of grace way. I think that's really where the empowerment can come from.
Yeah, I think there's like a choice when you become conscious of that. It's like, okay, does this matter enough to me to show up in my humility and like honor the fact that I went through a time where I needed myself more than anyone else.
Sure.
And recognizing that does have impact on relationships and community. And can I show up in this more centered and grounded and like trusting energy of myself to show up in these connections now and know like I can be honest about that, or I can change and I can show up differently.
Yeah.
And want to put that energy into shifting the dynamic.
Yeah. And it has to be that attitude of shifting and practicing and trying and getting it right and getting it wrong, and how do you treat yourself and how do you repair. There's a lot that can go into it. And if somebody is like very rigid about that, I think it's going to be rough. Like, you really can't be hard on yourself in relationship, because it requires falling down and getting back up again.
I mean, the quality of any relationship you have, really does depend on the relationship you have with yourself. Like, if I can give compassion to another, my friend, when they're maybe like not feeling their best, or I wobble or they wobble, whatever, we're humans, we're wobbly.
For sure.
But like, if I can give that to another person, I can give that to myself.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like, okay, well, if I can have compassion for myself in my own experience. I was reflecting on this the other day because I've been doing the self-hypnosis challenge, and it's been 23 days today. And I had this moment, I reflected on it on Instagram about perception, and just like, every single person is living their own unique experience they see that they have their own unique perspective on the world because it is created by their unique lived experience. No one else is living your life other than you. And if I can recognize that as a truth and recognize that when I observe someone else's behavior, then I can have compassion for that experience because it's very real to them.
Yeah. Right.
It's very real to them. And they're the one that has to hold that. They're the one that has to process it. And even if it impacts me in a certain way, I can own my own experience and still hold compassion for them. And that compassion just, I think, allows whatever the experience is to feel a little bit lighter and not personal.
I think it's so important to say, because we all have our own experience, it's important to take responsibility for our own experience, even when our experience is affected by another person.
Yeah.
So if you are in community with somebody, chances are you're going to have feelings of pain at some point. And then at some point, are you shifting into suffering? Are you beating yourself up with this pain? Is this continuing? I will be honest, I had a really hard day today. And there was pain that I was feeling that was another person who caused it. And I was very aware that I'm allowing myself to feel this because this is a person I care about. And so this is going to affect me. But at the same time, I was kind of aware simultaneously of this idea of this feels like more than just their pain. This is lasting a lot longer than the action that they're taking. I'm choosing, in my experience, to suffer. I knew I was choosing to suffer, and that wasn't necessarily the person who caused the pain and the stress. It was something else that needed to be, processed within me. And once I realized that, I don't think I completely shook the stress or the frustration in that moment, but I did start to be more conscious about, like, what can I do to soothe myself, even though these are the circumstances that I'm in.
Yeah.
And I began to do self-soothing strategies because that person wasn't even in the room with me at the time. The pain wasn't happening. It wasn't continuing to happen. It was my mind cycling on something that was painful. And I had to say, hey, mind, why are we doing that? Because I got the information. I got what happened. We don't have to continue cycling on this. Let's take care of ourselves. And then I began the process of doing that so I can move through that without continuing the suffering.
Yeah.
But I also think that sometimes it's hard to admit that, like, somebody else in your community that you care about is going to affect you negatively, and it's supposed to be that way because we are mirrors for each other. And so if you're having this inner thought or this inner state that you're unconscious of, and then I'm around you in that, and I'm like, whoa, ouch, that's important feedback for you to then be like, you know what? Yeah, ouch. Why am I ouch also? And what's going on there? And it helps us to, go inward and be reflective when we can get to a conscious place instead of lashing out at others. But I know that happens too sometimes.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. The emotions get big sometimes. Yeah, relationships are, they're work, man.
They're work. They're worth it. And they're necessary. They're not something, there's a lot of us out here.
Yeah. We're just all the universe looking back at each other, reflecting the complete experience.
Right.
Whether I want to look at it or not.
We're all deities looking at other deities, trying to figure out, how do I live around this person?
Girl,
it's a deity.
I had an argument with my mom last week.
Oh no. Mom.
Let's talk about relationship with moms first.
Moms, yeah, let's go there.
Mother-daughter dynamics. Hello. That's an interesting one. We moved through it. Will it happen again? Absolutely. And I can accept that. But we came back to, our place of understanding. But boy, did she mirror my avoidance back to me. And it stung like a bitch.
Yeah.
And I
that hurts.
felt it. And I felt that. And there's something when you feel like your mother avoiding you. Because that feels like rejection from my mother.
Yeah.
And so when I allowed myself to sit with that feeling, I was like, oh, I fucking hate this. I cannot, I don't want to sit there very long because I also have a solution to this.
Yeah.
And I had to humble myself and allow myself to feel something different and be like, hey, Mom, I don't like this. Please, can we come to understanding?
And ask for what you need. Woo, that is powerful.
And that was hard, actually.
So hard. So brave.
That was actually really hard, but huge. I did it, and we seem to be on better terms going into this week, which is empowering.
That is it. You affected change in your relationship.
Yeah.
Good job.
I just think whether it's your own mother, your parents, whatever, we have so much responsibility in how we show up in our relationships, especially when it's rooted in care. I think healthy boundaries are important. And we do have to take care of ourselves first before we can step back into right relationship. But man, we do carry so much responsibility for the health of our relationships, especially if they really matter to us.
Yeah, I always say, well, for myself, as a person who tends to be anxious, when there's any kind of relationship conflict with anybody, I have kind of like a guideline for myself that before I go back in and talk about this difficult thing, because difficult conversations need to happen in relationships, I will do 3 things. 1, I will sleep, even if it's just a nap or a cat nap or a power nap. 2, I will make sure I'm fed and not like my body is like not needing energy. I will feed myself. And the 3rd thing is I will find something to laugh at, even if it's like a video of a cat or something, just because I think laughter puts us into a totally different vibration and we can have access to different perspectives, allow things to go differently than they've been in the past. And so even if I get right back in that feeling in the conversation, at least I know like I've given myself my best chance to just access a different perspective before I jump into it.
That is an important skill.
Yeah, it's really hard.
To be able to hold your vibration, especially when going into conflict or where you perceive, this dynamic is not going to match my energy, but I'm going to hold my own.
And it's not even, I find the empowering reason is not even because I want of this other person. It's because I don't want to act like that when I'm talking to anybody at any time, especially somebody that I care about. I don't want to act tired and hangry and mad and lash out in those places. I want to be my best self for even this difficult conversation because that makes me feel empowered regardless of how they perceive it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Integrity and how you that's also a big skill, because I think relationships, because they mirror so much back to us, it can be quite triggering. And so I think to be like conscious of, but this is how I want to show up in this. I want to show up in love. I want to show up in understanding. I want to show up with compassion for myself and for you in this experience, while also honoring my boundaries and my needs in this. But like knowing that like I'm going to make sure that I know where I am and how I feel and bring that in, it really can help guide a conversation and like redirect. Because I've been in situations where I'm like preparing for a conversation, right? We have challenging conversations to have, and I need to prepare myself for this. And if I let myself, I can stay in defense mode, right? I can go in being like, this is what I need and you're not doing this, blah, blah, blah. I can do that. That's a choice that I can make. But I guess just the more that I understand the value of community and connections and relationships, is I know that I have responsibility right now to show up how I would want me to show up.
Yeah.
As my friends, you know?
Right.
Still in my power and still honoring my needs, but also willing to listen and understand.
Especially because, you know,
solution.
your relationships can, if you have chosen that person to be that close to you where they can affect your mood or cause pain or pleasure, that is sacred. Somebody who's that close to you is something that deserves to be held sacred. And so honoring that person and honoring yourself, I think when you think of it that way, it's like you can only show up with integrity, and hold that complexity of the pain, the desire, the person, and yourself all at once.
Yeah, I think relationships are super sacred. To have a witness, to allow yourself to be witnessed authentically as well.
Yeah. As yourself.
And all that it is, and to risk being rejected for it, because I've known that. I think of a couple of different situations where, you know, showing up authentically as myself, and that in itself was a powerful enough mirror to cause someone to want to pull back or to you know, trigger that rejection and abandonment wound within me, which we all have. I think at the core of it, for all of us, a lot of us, that is that underlying pain. The fear of abandonment or rejection, or fear of losing autonomy and being rejected for wanting your autonomy. That's the base of a lot of our all of us, our stuff. And so that is painful, but also I think when you show up in integrity, and even though you're being, maybe people like pull away because of that, I think there's at least you got you, girl.
Right.
At least you showed up with integrity and honored yourself.
Seriously.
Because what is relationships where you show up and feel like you have to be something different in order to keep them? That's just codependent and toxic anyway. And we don't stand for that.
No.
It's not giving.
It's not, for sure. And I also think that what helps cushion that, in addition to having that real self-trust, is having a supportive community of women. Because I think that, you know, I was in a unique situation where for my entire life, I had relationships and they all disappeared pretty much at once. And like dozens of friends, even family members. And the first thing that I was able to put together as I was piecing my life back together and really being conscious of the community that I held, making sure that they were going to be there for me in times that were hard. The first thing I did that I'm so grateful for was having healing women who were on their own journeys. You know, nobody's got to be knowing everything, but they were willing to be vulnerable, and they, from that place of cultivating their inner strength, became such a source of strength for me. So being able to be seen in my journey as I rise, by a supportive community of women, I just think that's like the most magical, powerful force, is when powerful, wise women who know who they are encouraging and supporting each other.
And you're creating that.
I am.
Is it too early to talk
Not
about
at all.
it?
I
Talk
mean,
about it.
It's getting very close. I'm just putting I'm really trying to operate with integrity and make sure I have some foundational things before I start it, because it's going to be a very important space. And I am okay saying the name of it because I'm excited. So I am creating the Love Coven. And this is a place for my wonderful witchy women who are wanting that support, specifically focusing on their relationships. Because I just think that relationships can be the source of so much energy. And sometimes it's painful energy, and sometimes it's the energy that will power you through any challenge or obstacle. And I think it's just so important. And it is kind of born out of the wound that I had, because this was like a huge break in my life. And it required me to very much systematically learn how to heal in community, how to heal in relationship, and how to heal on your own. And so I think providing a space for other people who um, are wanting to bring conscious awareness to their journey of relationship and their own personal success is really what's driving creating this group.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm excited.
And getting a little witchy about it.
Girl.
I'm talking spell book.
Oh,
I'm talking psychic stuff.
Mm.
I'm talking.
Okay, I just want to say I really love these little fluffy things.
I know.
We did good with these mics. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And Heather's also a part of this network of amazing people here at Ritual Wellness Space. And those relationships have been vital. This whole space, so everything good. That we are co-creating in this space has, like, I just can't do it without you guys.
It's such a perfect example of the strength in community and powerful, wise women coming together and supporting each other in their creative endeavors. I mean, it's perfect.
It's just life-giving, and I've been having such beautiful conversations that have been so affirming to what's being created here. But it's co-created because it's everyone contributes to the community here. And there's some slight shifts happening here behind the scenes, but it's the same energy. It's a slightly different structure, and just really focusing on the network and the community of people, because that's what it's always been about. It always will forever be. That's where the growth is. That's where the abundance is. It's in the wealth of knowledge and energy and joy that is shared amongst the people that choose to gather here, or whether we are gathering here, which of course that happens here, but also in how that expands outside of this space and how it really ripples out into the whole community. And I'm just really excited for more right relationships and doing the work on myself so that I can continue to show up as my most authentic self, my most confident, empowered self to participate in that fully.
Yeah. As are we all.
Yeah.
In the thick of it.
Baby. Creation is messy, honey.
Yeah, it is.
But it's so good. Yeah. It's all there is, really.
Right.
It's all we're ever doing is we're creating. It's just about, what kind of reality do you want to create? What kind of relationships do you want to create? Do you want to have a life where you are in your joy and of service and creating and loving your life and sharing that with others and inspiring others to do that? I think, on the days where I have a hard time connecting with that, I get to come here or connect with my network and be reminded of how capable I am of coming back to that.
Yeah.
And I could not do it without my sisters at Ritual Space. And it's powerful.
It's a requirement for thriving.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, non-negotiable.
Yeah. So I don't know any other reason why anyone would want to be here other than just to feel really good, really connected, and to have that powerful mirror of your excellence back to you.
Yeah.
And that's what we're building.
It is.
That's what we're creating.
Yeah.
And you can find us here. Here in this space. There are people in here all the time, every day, the members of this community, and it's a beautiful thing. But you can also find us here every Wednesday.
That's right.
You can find us online. You can follow Heather over at Claire Consultant on Instagram and TikTok. Do you have YouTube? No. Just here and there and everywhere. She's doing that powerful work. If you're interested in anything that she has just shared about this love coven, I think you should absolutely keep your eyes peeled, your ears open for more information on that launch, which is so exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it as well. It feels like a birthing. It feels like natural, and it feels like it's coming together in the correct timing.
Absolutely. You can connect with me too on Instagram. Of course, you can connect with me at Ritual Wellness Space, but I'm also Becoming Home Healing Co. I serve women in my hypnotherapy practice every day, and I love that. I love that for me. I love doing what I do so much.
I was just thinking, I don't know if we've talked about it, like the first interaction I had with you was when we had the hurricane.
I thought about this the other day.
And I was just like, that is just a cool ass bitch who is trying to help people out. And you were doing like a, hey, holistic practitioners, let's get together and serve our community. And I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I want to be a part of whatever.
That is the first time I met you. I thought about that yesterday for some reason. I was like, that's so crazy.
That is crazy.
Just a beautiful alignment there.
Yeah, so sweet.
If you're interested in mindset work, working toward your goals and needing some support, if you want help expanding your nervous system so that you can allow yourself to receive all of this phenomenal, beautiful expansion in your life, I think we should absolutely have a conversation at the least.
Well, yeah.
I'm devoted to serving women who want to grow and give birth to their best life.
Or people.
And their best babies. The best babies. Only the best babies. I have 2 hypno babies under my belt. And it's a beautiful thing.
I love it.
I really want to call myself a fairy godmother.
Yeah.
But no one asks me. I feel like I can't just say it. I can't just be like, I'm your baby.
I'm your baby's godmother.
But I love hypnobirthing it is phenomenal. It is mind-blowing. It is so powerful. I don't know if you can really witness a woman more in her power than a woman who is absolutely embodied and to the point enjoying their childbirth and labor. To tell you that it's absolutely possible, it's absolutely possible. I've seen it. So I don't know. I just think that's pretty magical.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. For sure. Yeah. Definitely something to be proud of.
You heard that too, right?
Yeah.
We gotta go.
We gotta go check out the ghosties in the back room. But thank you for hanging out with us today.
Yes.
We heard some foul play in the back room. They're here.
It's fine.
And they're ready for
They went like, yes. They were like, yes, queen. It's like a snap. Thank you. Okay. Catch us next week. We go live at Wednesdays at 7. And I love you, and I mean it.
Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.
Bye.
How do we get off this thing? How do I get off this ride? X marks the spot.